In this problem, we're given a set of data, and we're asked to find an exponential function, a linear function, and a power function that best fits the data using regression on our calculator. At the end, we're supposed to pick which of the three is the best fit. So I'm going to start by typing the data in by pressing Stat, press Enter to access the Edit menu. I'm going to left arrow over here and hit Delete a couple times to get rid of any data. Right arrow, delete these to get rid of that data. Now that I have my list clean, I'm just going to type in my x's, 1, enter, 2, enter, and so on until I get down to 6. If you want to fast forward the video, you can. Right arrow over and type the data into L2, that's 561. I guess you don't need to hear me read them off. So you feel free to skip this part of the video if you want to just type it in and follow along. That works too. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do after you type in the data is, believe it or not, just sit and systematically check every single number, as I am famous for making one small mistake somewhere. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just take the time to make sure you typed in every number correctly. 90% of the time a student has trouble with this, it's because they just typed in a number wrong in their list. Okay, so that's the tedious part of the video. Now to get exponential regression, I need to go back to the Stat key, right arrow over to the Calc submenu, and exponential regression you can get by just pressing 0. If you forget this, you can go down until you actually see that it says exponential regression. I've gone a little bit too far. So either press 0 or scroll down and press Enter for exponential regression. On your calculator, you probably can just press Enter a couple times. On my calculator, I have to go down to calculate, and it's all set up. My x's are in L1, my outputs are in L2. I run regression, and I get the regression equation. Unfortunately, I did not get an R value, which is going to help me figure out which one is the best fit. So to get an R value, I'm going to hit second 0. That gives me the catalog. I'm going to hold the down arrow down until I get to the D's. It's in alphabetical order. And when I get to the command diagnostic on, I'm going to press Enter twice. And now when I rerun the regression, it was Stat, right arrow, 0, down to calculate. This time, when I run regression, I'm going to get an R value. So what this tells me is that this data is not perfectly exponential. If it was perfectly exponential, it would be a 100% fit, and I would get an R value of 1. Rather, what I got is 0.968, which if you move the decimal over twice to convert to a percentage, you'd see that's a 96.8% fit. So somewhere off to the side or in your brain, you got to remember that the power function was a 96.8% fit, and we will compare that with the R value for linear and power regression for the last question. But in the meantime, I typed this in as an exponential equation, a times b to the x. It says that a is 380. I'm going to give a couple extra decimal places just in case. If you're watching this video because you did the problem and got it wrong, I can almost guarantee you it's because you did not round b to enough decimal places. We are very picky on how many decimal places the b value comes out to be. So if you typed in 3.33 or 3.34, you probably got it marked wrong. Just be a little anal retentive and give lots of decimal places as you see me doing in the video here. And then, let me see, raise that to the x power. The other thing I see students doing wrong is they're typing it in incorrectly. Since they asked for exponential regression, you have to type it in the form a times b to the x. If you type it in with addition or something like, I've seen students put a plus here and not have the caret, and if you did that, well then you're typing in a linear equation, and this is not meant to be linear. It says use exponential regression. So you got all these obvious errors that come into play, but the most common error is not giving enough decimal places on the value of b. So there's my answer to my first blank. Next one says use linear regression. Good news, you do not have to repeat typing the data in. You can just press Stat, right arrow, select number 4 for linear regression. Probably just press Enter once or twice, but on my calculator I got to go down to calculate and press Enter. And this time we got a 91.5% fit. If you remember, the power regression was 96.8. So far, exponential was 96.8. So far the exponential is better. Exponential was almost a 97%. This is a 91.5%. So far, exponential is the best fit. Nonetheless, they still want you to type this equation in. The calculator even tells you the form. It's ax plus b. The calculator uses a instead of m for the slope. A is 56909 in my problem. And just to make MathAS happy, I'll give a few more decimal places. That's the a value. That's my slope, so I'll multiply that by x. Plus b. B was, you can add a negative or you can just write subtract. 105631. If you want to preview that to see the syntax is okay, that's the a linear expression here. Use power regression. So same thing, press stat, right arrow. Power regression is actually letter B. It's so far down the list, it's faster to go up the list until you see, it's not, it's letter A. Run power regression, and we will see what the R value is there. And the R value is 0.9999. That means it's a 99.999%. Blows the linear and exponential out of the water. So the last answer down here, we're going to pick power. Power regression returned the R value closest to the number 1, meaning it's closest to being 100% fit. But be careful when you type the equation in. You do not type it in with addition or subtraction, and you shouldn't have x in the exponent. This is a power function, and power functions, I call it kx at the end, but your calculator uses a and b. So they're saying a is 548. Again, make MathAS happy by taking a few extra seconds and typing in about 4 decimal places. Usually works. I rounded this 8 to a 9, mind you. So that's my a. Then I'm supposed to multiply that by x raised to the b. Caret is found by hitting Shift 6, by the way. B value is 3.5146. I should run that 6 to a 7. Again, notice that my use of always trying to use 4 decimal places, except for this one right here, it looks like I only use 3. So at any rate, I think I have everything in order. There's an exponential, there is a linear, and this is power equation right here. And of the 3, which was the best fit? Definitely power. Hopefully this video helped.